Hi everyone, can you say your name in Korean? That's amazing. I like to hear that. But can you also say your job in Korean? Not yet. No worries. Let's learn how to say I am a teacher. I am a student. I am an engineer in Korean. Ready? Then let's go together. Go, go, go. Ta-da! Guys, ready? Then let's get started. First of all, let's review what we learned last time. Guys, do you remember how to ask what is your name in Korean? Yeah, right. We say 이름이 뭐예요? Let's say it together. 이름이 뭐예요? One more. 이름이 뭐예요? 이름이 뭐예요? Amazing. Then how do you answer? 저는 Hi 언니 누나예요 in Korean. Yeah, right. If you want to say your name in Korean, you can just follow these 3 steps. Step 1, say 저는. Step 2, say your name. Step 3, add a correct ending. Ending? Yes. We have 2 different endings. One is 이에요, the other is 예요. And it depends on whether a noun has a final consonant or not. I mean, if the noun ends with a final consonant, then we use 이에요 ending. And if the noun ends with a final vowel, we use 예요 ending. You remember? By the way, I have a quick question for you. Guys, do you know what a noun is? No worries. Let me explain. A noun is the name of a person, a place, a thing. I mean, names are all nouns, such as 최연숙. 최연숙 is my real name. 최연숙. Or Hi 언니 누나, Justin, Brandon, Adrian, Diego. Names are all nouns. Remember that, okay? And all the places are nouns, such as restaurant, toilet, coffee shop, home, school. These are also nouns, okay? And also items, such as chair, desk, PC, calendar, what else? Pen, cup. These are also nouns. Aha! Got it. So just remember that a noun is the name of a person, a location, and also items. Okay? And let's get back to the point. So we have 2 different endings for noun. One is 이에요, the other is 예요. Right? Okay. So how do you answer I am Hi 언니 누나 in Korean? 1, 2, 3 steps. Step 1, say 저는. Right. Step 2, my name. Hi 언니 누나. And step 3, add a correct ending. Hi 언니 누나. My name ends with a final vowel. So we use 예요 ending. Yay! Amazing. That's cool. Okay, that's so cool. By the way, I have another quick question. Guys, what do you do? Are you a student? A teacher? Engineer? Oh, I want to know this. So please tell me in the comments later. Okay? But first, let's learn how to say these jobs in Korean. Okay? Let's see it together. Ta-da-da! Oh! Guys, do you know how to say teacher in Korean? We say 선생님, 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 선생님. Amazing. Then what about students? 학생, 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 학생. Amazing. Ta-da-da. Oh, office worker. We say 회사원, 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 회사원. Amazing. Doctor, we say 의사. 의사. Okay. And then chef, we say 요리사. 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 Amazing. One more. Engineer? Don't worry, you already know this one. It's almost the same as English. We say 엔지니어. 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 Amazing. That's good. Now I think you're ready. So let's get real lessons. Okay? Guys, do you know how to ask what is your job in Korean? We say 직업이 뭐예요? Let's say it together. 직업이. 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 뭐예요? 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 Let's put everything together. 직업이 뭐예요? 직업이 뭐예요? 직업이 뭐예요? 직업이 뭐예요? Amazing. Then let's make it simple. Okay? Guys, 직업 means job. 뭐예요 means what is it? So 직업이 뭐예요 means what is your job? Okay, amazing. That's so cool. And guys, if someone asks me 직업이 뭐예요? Then my answer is 저는 선생님이에요. Do you understand what I said? Yes. Let's break it down super easily. 저는 means I. 선생님 means teacher. 이에요 means this is the ending. Aha! Let me give you a simple rule. Guys, if you want to say your job in Korean, you can just follow the same 3 steps. You remember the 3 steps when you want to say your name in Korean? Totally same steps. Okay, then let's practice. Step 1, say 저는, which means I. Step 2, say your job. And step 3, add the correct endings. So, if your job ends with a vowel consonant, then we use 이에요 ending. But if your job ends with a vowel, then we use 예요 ending. Amazing. Then let's practice together. Okay. 짜라란. Oh, that's me. Okay. And my job is a teacher, right? In Korean, we say 선생님, right? Guys, I have a quick question. How do you ask what is your job in Korean? Amazing. Let's say it together. 직업이 뭐예요? 직업이 뭐예요? 직업이 뭐예요? 직업이 뭐예요? Amazing. Then how do you answer? I am a teacher in Korean. Do you remember the 3 steps? Step 1, say 저는. Step 2, my job. 선생님. Step 3, add a correct ending. And 선생님 ends with a vowel consonant. So we're gonna use 이에요 ending. Amazing. That's so cool. Okay. Then next one. Her job is a student. Guys, how do you ask what is your job in Korean? Amazing. 직업이 뭐예요? Then how do you answer? I am a student in Korean. 1, 2, 3 steps. Step 1, say 저는. Step 2, her job. 학생. Step 3, ending. And 학생 ends with a vowel consonant. So we're gonna use 이에요 ending. Amazing. Okay. 짜라란. Yay. His job is a doctor, right? Guys, How do you ask what is your job in Korean? Amazing. 직업이 뭐예요? Right. Then how do you answer? I am a doctor. In Korean, 1, 2, 3 steps. Step 1, say 저는. Step 2, his job. 의사. Step 3, ending. 의사 ends with a final vowel. So we're gonna use 예요 ending. Amazing. That's so amazing. That's so cool. Okay. Let's try few more. Ready? Let me ask you. 직업이 뭐예요? I'll give you 3 seconds. 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3 steps. Ready? Okay. How do you answer I'm a chef in Korean? Step 1. 저는. Step 2. 요리사. Step 3. 요리사 ends with a final vowel. So we're gonna use 예요 ending. Amazing. Cool. 짜라란. Oh. 회사원. And 회사원 means office worker. Right? Okay. Let me ask you. Guys, 직업이 뭐예요? Answer me back. 1, 2, 3 steps. Ready? Okay. Step 1, say 저는. Step 2, her job. 회사원. Step 3, are the correct endings. 회사원 ends with a final consonant. So we're gonna use 이에요 ending. Amazing. That's so cool. Okay. The 짜라란. Ending. Guys, I have a quick question. How do you ask what is your job in Korean? Amazing. 직업이 뭐예요? Then please answer me back. 1, 2, 3 steps. Okay? Ready? Okay, let's say it together. Step 1, 저는. Step 2, 엔지니어. Step 3, engineer ends with a final vowel. So we're gonna use, right, 예요 ending. So great. Okay, guys, review time. So there's only one question and one answer. You need to remember, right? So question, 직업이 뭐예요? And if you want to say your job in Korean, just follow the 3 steps. Step 1, say 저는, which means I. Step 2, say your job, such as 선생님, 학생, 요리사. Step 3, add the correct ending. We have 2 different endings. One is 이에요, the other is 예요. Right, okay. Then, quiz time. Ready? Okay. Guys, the first quiz. How do you ask, what is your job in Korean? Amazing. 직업이 뭐예요? Then, how do you answer? I'll give you 5 seconds. Okay? Let's say it together. 저는 선생님이에요. Amazing! Yeah, amazing. Let's say it together. 저는 선생님이에요. 저는 선생님이에요. One more. 저는 선생님이에요. 저는 선생님이에요. Excellent. Excellent. Okay. Few more. 짜라란. Guys, How do you ask what is your job in Korean? Amazing. Then answer me back. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. 띵! Let's say it together. 저는 요리사예요. Cause 요리사 ends with a final vowel. So that's why we used 예요 ending. Excellent. Okay. One more. 짜라란. 직업이 뭐예요? 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. 띵! Let's say it together. Step 1. 저는. Step 2. 학생. Step 3. 학생 ends with a final consonant. So, 이에요. Let's say it together. 저는 학생이에요. 저는 학생이에요. 저는 학생이에요. 저는 학생이에요. Excellent. Last one. Final one. 짜라란. 직업이 뭐예요? 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 띵! Let's say it together. Step 1. 저는. Step 2. 엔지니어. Step 3. 예요. Let's say it all together. 저는 엔지니어예요. 저는 엔지니어예요. One more. 저는 엔지니어예요. 저는 엔지니어예요. Yay! Great job. Guys, I am so proud of you guys. You've done a really great job so far. Yay! Guys, now you can say your name, plus you can also say your job in Korean. Tell me in the comments, what is your job? I would love to read your job. Okay? Yay! And we're gonna learn more next lessons. So please don't miss your next lesson. Okay? I see you next time. Bye!